We got the meats. Welcome back to the channel, guys. So we are going to be working on the Z06 today. It's been a long winter. Spring is finally here in New England. Z06 has been tucked under the cover. We put it away last winter, did a little health checkup. Everything seemed good. The only problem we had last year was traction. Not all that surprising with the 5-year-old Toyos, 25 profile sidewall, basically rubber bands that we have on that thing. We bolted up my old Hoosier and Weld setup, but those tires are pretty dry rotted. I ended up selling those. Came across a good deal on a brand new set of Weld Ventura bead locks for the rear and Weld Ventura 18x5s on the front. So 17x11 on the rear, 18x5 on the front. Some Mickey Thompson front runners. And the Mickey Thompson ET Street Rs. All the high horsepower guys are running these right now. Super sticky tire. Heard great things about these. So, without further ado, let's get this stuff unboxed, take a look, and do some test fitting. So you guys may have seen these boxes in previous videos. I've had all of this set up for about 4 months now. We've been full speed ahead on the 69 Camaro. Haven't had time to do anything with these other than move them around the garage 100 times. Even though this box looks like it went through a shredder, I did inspect these when they first showed up back in February. Everything looked good, but let's get a first look at them here. So this is a new wheel from Weld. Very similar to the F71, but I believe their process in making it, forging or whatever, is a little bit different. So it's pretty competitively priced, but I think it's designed to compete with the Forgestar D5 beadlock, which doesn't make any sense because Weld owns Forgestar, I believe, but either way, I like it because it looks like the F71. Boom. There it is. Looks kind of funny without the beadlock, but 17x11. Weld Ventura, beadlock in the bottom there. Some mounting hardware, center cap probably. Stickers, of course. And here's the beadlock. Hell yeah. So something like that is what we're gonna be looking like. That's the rears. Let's get the fronts and all the other stuff unboxed, and we'll get to test fitting. well, classic Chris fashion, I accidentally let 2 weeks pass from when you last saw me. Took the wheels out of the box, test fit them, everything looks good. It turns out they don't come with valve stems, and those need to be put on before we come out the tires. So, shopped around, picked up these things. These performance ones from AutoZone or whatever, they weren't gonna fit. They just don't fit in the wheel for whatever reason. Turns out I had some here in the garage, some just basic rubber valve stems, so put those in. So we got our rear 17s here. You can see valve stem in there, valve stem in there on the other side. So now I think we're ready. Also put some of this plastic wrap on there to kind of protect this while we're working on them until we can get these ceramic coated. So now I'd like to try get these 28-inch Mickey Thompson ET Street R's mounted up on these 17s. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna use my trusty soapy water, lube up the bead and try and get these on there. They do have a lot of sidewall, so I think it can be done, and then we can hopefully go through the process of torquing these bead locks on there. So those should look nice on there. And yeah, call the rears done. Now let's get these tires on, get these things all torqued up, and I'll show you guys what I've done. All right, guys, 2 hours of torquing bolts later, we got these things mounted. Pretty smooth, actually. Getting the tires on was easy. Just a little bit of soap and water. They popped right on. You got to get the bead lined up on the top here, put the ring on, and then, torque the bolts down finger tight, all of them. I just did that with my impact, but just on like low power or whatever, just basically till it stopped. And then like 50 inch-pounds, 150 inch-pounds, 220 inch-pounds. But every time you torque it a little bit, because you're compressing rubber, let's say you do 50 inch-pounds on this one, then the next pass you come around to this one, after going all the way around, it's back basically at 0. So basically you had to do, I think, 5 passes for all these bolts. You probably saw me using these washers. Saw this trick on the World Wide Web. But basically it can be difficult to tell which ones you've torqued. So I made a mark here that I start with this one, put this washer here, put this one on the other side, because you always want to torque in a star pattern. So start with this one. Once you complete that, move it over. Come over here, do this one. Once you finish this one, move that over. And you come back over here. Instead of not knowing which one you're on, now just go to the one where the washer is. And then you've made it all the way around when this washer makes it to your mark here. So 2 little washers made this so much easier as far as keeping track of what's done. So all these torqued to 220 inch-pounds, inflated to 28 PSI right now. Get the bead seated. So these things are good to go. We can run lower tire pressure later, obviously when they're on the car, but I think these things are good to go to the tire shop to get balanced. I think we'll throw them on the car here in a second to check the fitment. So let's jack up the rear and see how they fit. Woo! Well, there they are. 17-inch Weld Ventura beadlocks with a 28-inch Mickey Thompson ET Street R. This rear end just looks higher. Sitting a little lopsided with the 26 on the other side. Yeah, digging how that looks. These things need to go to the tire shop to get balanced. Need to get these front ones mounted. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. These are all going to the tire shop. We'll drop all 4 off and then hopefully get all 4 back in the car and we can do some testing. One other thing I forgot to mention, guys, that I wanted to try. Seen, people have been doing this for years, but the problem with, these tires are okay. You don't really run these too low. TPMS light on a C6 Corvette comes on at 25 PSI. Drag radials, you're gonna run at the track a lot lower than that. So you don't want your TPMS light coming on because a lot of times it'll prevent you from, turning traction control off or active handling or whatever. So what a lot of guys do to defeat that is they build one of these pressure vessels out of PVC tube and you put your TPMS sensors in there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do is we're gonna cut this thing down, glue both ends on with a valve stem on one so we can pressurize it. With these things inside with some, foam so they don't, bunch around. Pressure this thing to 30 psi or so. See if we can fool the TPMS sensor or light or whatever, and when these drag radials are on, so we don't trip the light. So once we get back from the tire shop, put that together, and we'll get this thing hooked up. Oh yeah, that looks mean, like that. So we finally got all these wheels and tires mounted on the car, balanced, torqued, you name it, we did it. Got my pipe bomb, AKA TPMS thingy here. I just put about 35-ish PSI in there, I think, and put some soapy water on it, check for leaks, didn't see anything. So let's go see if the car is gonna read them correctly now. TPMS light is not on, so that's a good sign. Hey, look at that. What do you know? All 4 tires reading exactly the same. Sweet. So let's put this thing in the car. This thing is just about empty on the 93 octane from this winter. I can't believe it. This far into the summer and I'm still on the first tank of fuel, but let's get some fresh E85 in there. put this in the car, take this thing for a drive, and see how these tires do. That'll work. Let's take this thing for a drive. All right, just check tire pressures all around. Here we go, first drive. 28s, 26s up front. I'm actually curious to see if we have any active handling or traction control. Whoa, we are scraping everywhere. What is going on with that? Are these like lower than my other ones? I don't know if these tires are, the front runners are slightly smaller, or less less diameter than my other ones, but the front of the car right now just scraped the entire way out of my driveway, which has me a little concerned. Maybe I need to raise the front up a little bit, but we'll go see how this drive goes. As I was saying, I'm curious to see if the smaller diameter front tires is going to mess up the active handling or traction control, ABS, whatever. Some people say they have a problem with that when you run a 28 in the rear and a 26 in the front. Most guys say they're okay, so let's hope we're in that same boat. But yeah, let's go see how these things do. I think we're still on low boost right now, but we're running about E60 to E65-ish. This is older E85 from last season, but so we'll keep it on low boost right now and see how it does. But let's get to a straightaway and see how these things hook up. I haven't driven this car with traction yet, so it'll be interesting to see how quick it is. All right, let's do a quick second gear pull in these things. I don't know how it'll do. I don't know if you're supposed to get some heat in them first or what, but here goes nothing. Oh my goodness! Woo! Woo-hoo! Oh, we just scraped the front splitter so bad. I hope that thing's still there. Holy shit. That was only 11.7 pounds of boost too, second and a little bit of third gear. God damn, this thing's fun when it hooks up. Woo! Let's look at that log, make sure everything looked good, and turn it around, do it again. All right, well, here's what we got. Everything looks good. That was, like I said, that was about 12 pounds of boost. Fueling looked good, no knock, anything like that. Everything looks good, so I'm pretty happy with that. But here's what we're dealing with. This thing is on the ground. So basically when I hit the brakes hard, I think it's dragging. Can't see anything, but it's definitely dragging here, so basically undrivable. Let's maybe do one more pull, get this thing home and raise it up. Just up the boost a little bit. This profile 2 should be, I think, around 15 pounds. Try second gear here. Oh my gosh. Try not to hit the brakes too hard. Rip that splitter right off. Woo! Man, it's a whole different animal when the car actually hooks and doesn't just spin. Woo! Got a GoPro on the Speedo, so you guys will be able to get a look at that in a minute. But yeah, I was only second gear. I got a little car in front of me, and if I grabbed third, I would have had to hit the brakes too hard, probably rip the splitter off. So let's get this thing home before we get in trouble and talk about what's next. Well, there you have it. Twin turbo Z06 on a big 28-inch Mickey Thompson Finally got some traction. Looks awesome too. I'm psyched about these Weld Venturas. Pretty similar to the S71, but you know, looks clean. I like the exposed brushed aluminum on the front there. Nice to switch up the look once in a while from the big 20s to a 17, or actually a 17 and an 18. Digging the look. But yeah, I'm gonna take that as a win. I mean, no check engine lights or traction or active handling, anything like that. It seems like the car is okay with the 28-inch front, the 28-inch rear, 26-inch front. Traction so far up to 11 pounds of boost is awesome, which is way more than we ever got with any of our other tire setups here. Quick correction, that second gear pull I just did, I forgot I have this boost by gear system. So even though I went to Profile 2, which is a higher boost rating, I was only in second gear, and it's boost by gear, so I only went up to like 12 pounds. But we got some weather moving in, so I think I'm done with the car for today. We've got some other goodies I'm going to put on this car as far as suspension is concerned that's also going to help us hook up. So we're going to be throwing some more parts of this thing, but I think this video is probably long enough. So yeah, you guys will have to tune in for the next one. We'll see you then.